All right, this is my 2017 NFL mock draft, number 2 after the couple big free agency waves. So let's just get right into it. These are my picks. You can leave like comments like, like I really disagree. Like I think that, the Raiders aren't gonna take a corner. Like I think they're gonna try to take like a tight end or something. That would be those comments really help me out because then I can look back and be like, maybe I should change something. But I mean, it's like when you get to be like, you're so stupid. Like why did you have the Seahawks taking no linemen? They need they're clearly gonna take a effing tight end. I don't know, something like that. Just no. Those I just removed about, I think it was 3 comments in the last video. But next time I'll just probably have to, at least if it's too bad, like, if it's just, like, kind of mad, it's not too bad, I'll just remove it. But, I mean, if it's, like, like, off the charts, like, you're swearing and whatever, then, yeah, I'll just probably have to report it, because I don't want that to keep happening. I mean, it doesn't hurt my feelings, but, I mean, you have to keep in mind other people watch these videos too, and maybe when they look in the comments, they don't want to see people like swearing about it and whatever. So yeah, it's just make your own if it really bothers you that much. Number 1 pick, I have the Browns taking Myles Garrett, and yeah, that's moving on. I have the 49ers taking Solomon Thomas in this one. I did have them taking Mitch Trubisky in the last one, but in this one, I definitely think that I really thought over it, and no quarterback is worth the number 2 overall pick. So I would have him taking Solomon Thomas to just kind of, he's, at least to me, I think he's kind of made himself a little bit better than Jonathan Allen. So yeah, he's no Myles Garrett, but he can help. He really can fill a position of need for the 49ers, and he can make a big impact. And speaking of Jonathan Allen, he's going to the Bears again in my mock draft because the Bears need defensive line. They could be taking a receiver, but I just don't see that happening, at least not until the 2nd or 3rd round. So yeah, this defensive end class just freakishly good. So yeah, Jonathan Allen. What happened to Chris Ivory? And yeah, I have the Jaguars taking Leonard Fournette. But what happened to him? Like honestly, what happened? He was supposed to be like making this offense like the most explosive in the NFL, and then he just had some weird medical issue. Then he came back. Can't really make very much of an impact. And yeah. And T.Y. Yeldon isn't going to be a solid number 1 running back. At least not now. If this is a team that's like, oh crap, we need to make the playoffs quick. Chris Ivory is not exactly a running back that I would have you. I mean, maybe you can gradually build him into the starting role. But at the moment, he's not worth it. The Titans taking Jamal Adams, and yeah, they have a trash secondary. Sorry, Titans fans. And I think that they take the best corner in this draft, in my opinion, Jamal Adams. So yeah, number 6, the Jets. Yeah. I'm not a Jets fan, so I can't say it with very much enthusiasm, and I'll just make it sound really cringy. And I'll embarrass everybody that ever roots for the Jets. Actually, no offense. I mean, after last season, they're probably embarrassed already because last season was ugly. I was actually hoping they'd do good, but yeah. Voice crack. Yeah, they're not. Yeah, so I've taken Marshawn Lattimore, and Darrelle Reeves is gone. He didn't get charged for any legal issues, but Morris Claiborne can really help just he helped ease the wound, but he's injury prone. So if he's not there, what's the point of having him? So I have the New York Jets taking Marshawn Lattimore, who could even, maybe not day one, but eventually he could start over him. I have the Los Angeles Chargers, who did not rip off the Los Angeles Dodgers logo at all, taking Malik Hooker because, quite frankly, they don't have a safety. Eric Weddle left, and then after that, it was just nothing. They have good corners, but, I mean, if someone gets behind those corners, bye, touchdown. So, yeah, I'm taking Malik Hooker. I have the Carolina Panthers taking Derek Barnett, and yeah, Julius Peppers is coming back, so pass rush isn't exactly like their biggest thing anymore, but I think the Panthers they should try to build up a really elite defense, and they need to like really try to stack their D line. So yeah, Derek Barnett, like this defensive end class is just stacked. The Bengals, I'm taking Reuben Foster. And Vontaze Burfict, I don't know. He just seems like he wants to get suspended sometimes. But, I mean, even when he is playing, they need someone on the other side of him making pressure. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're not terrible, but they could use a huge upgrade. And Reuben Foster is by far the best pass rusher, outside linebacker in this draft. And I have the Bills taking Mike Williams, and this is because Sammy Watkins gets injured a lot, and they are left with without a true solid receiver. And Mike Williams is by far the best receiver in this draft. So I have the Bills taking him to kind of form an elite wide receiver duo, Sammy Watkins. And if Sammy Watkins continues to get injured, they'll have someone to take over that number one receiver role. And I have the Saints taking Sidney Jones. I mean, it's pretty obvious it's going to be on defense, so that narrows down to only the defensive side of the ball, because they traded Brandon Cooks for the Patriots' number 32 pick. So yeah, I'll have the Saints picking at number 32 in this one. And yeah, it's obvious that it's going to be on defense, and they need a corner. And Sidney Jones he's not the best corner in this draft, but he's still really good, and he has a lot of upside, which is what you want in a corner. And that's what the Saints want. They want to get a lot of young, talented defensive players on the other side of the ball, because this could be a team that could be actually contending for Super Bowls if they had a better defense. But so yeah, they traded Brandon Cooks, who's a freak of nature receiver, just so they could upgrade their defense, which is saying something. And I have the Browns taking Mitch Trubisky, and normally I wouldn't have the Browns taking a quarterback, but I mean, if Hugh Jackson leads this team to go 1-15 again, is he really going to have a job? I mean, they got Brock Osweiler now, who sucks. They have Cody Kessler, hasn't really proven himself, and I'm not sure that he's exactly a quarterback to build around. So yeah, I mean, you could have Cody Kessler or Brock Osweiler starting over Mitch Trubisky, so he can learn the system, and then you can slowly start to kind of put him in that number one quarterback spot. So you don't have to throw him in there like, Tim Couch or Johnny Manziel, and then they just flop right away. So at least people might not call it a draft bust right away. So they might have bought themselves some time if they take Mitch Trubisky. I have the Cardinals taking Corey Davis, J.J. Nelson has catching problems. Michael Floyd is gone. Larry Fitz is almost out the door. And they need a future receiver. So, I haven't taken Corey Davis just because he's the second best receiver in this draft out of Western Kentucky. So, yeah. I have the Eagles taking Tre'Davious White. I had them taking John Ross in the last one, but now they don't need a receiver as bad. And Tre'Davious, they lost their true, their only good corner to free agency, and they need a corner. If they want to contend in the NFC East, they need a corner to cover Dez Bryant. Well, I guess the Redskins pretty much lost all their receivers. But, yeah, so. Oh, and Odell Beckham, you can't free. Oh, and also Brand Marshall's on the way, too, so. Yeah, they need a corner. I have the Colts taking Forrest Lamp. And, yeah, the other one, I had them taking Taco Charlton, but I just keep thinking about it, and if they got rid of Peyton Manning to draft Andrew Luck just for him to get the crap kicked out of him year in and year out, then they definitely wasted a pick. So, yeah, he's a good pass protector. He's an excellent run blocker. So, yeah, they need to upgrade. Baltimore, I have them taking John Ross. He's fast. He hasn't been injured majorly, at least from what I'm concerned, and he can catch. So this is a team that's looking to find the Steve Smith replacement, and I think John Ross might not be. They might have to find another receiver to be kind of like their physical guy, like Steve Smith was. But John Ross, he can outrun pretty much anybody on the field. Literally, he's the fastest guy to ever run the 40 at the combine. So, yeah. I have the Redskins taking Jabril Peppers, who is a linebacker and a safety, who, at least from what I'm aware, people usually have him playing at linebacker. They have him listed as a linebacker in their mock drafts, but he also plays safety, so I just put him as both. And, yeah, with Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall on the way, the Redskins need to upgrade their secondary, and they could use some more pass rush, too, outside of Ryan Kerrigan. So, yeah, I have him taking Jabril Peppers, who actually last draft I had him falling to number 32 to the Patriots, but I don't think that's going to happen anymore because he's just too good. I have the Titans with their second pick taking Budda Baker. And, yeah, so back to the crappy Titans secondary. So they have a good rookie corner that can cover, but if someone were to say to get behind him, someone were to get behind Jamal Adams, Budda Baker would be there. So, hey, it works. I have the Buccaneers taking Dalvin Cook, and after Doug Martin got that huge payday last year, he just, man, nobody has faith in him anymore. I mean, I didn't watch a lot of Buccaneers games last year, so I don't. But he definitely regressed. So, yeah, I have the Buccaneers taking Dalvin Cook to possibly replace him. But if Dalvin Cook doesn't prove to be number one running back, I guess Doug Martin could start over him. I have the Broncos taking Ryan Rezemkick. What? Like I said, I'm from Wisconsin. I can't even pronounce his name. And he's from Wisconsin too. But, so, John Elway needs whoever the quarterback of the future is, whether it's Trevor Siemian, Paxton Lynch, or even if they signed Tony Romo, especially if they signed Tony Romo, I should say, they need a tackle, and Ryan Rezemkick is by far the best tackle in the draft, and he has tremendous upside. He could be the next Joe Thomas. I have the Lions taking Charles Harris, and they upgraded their offensive line a lot. Great job. They no longer lead offensive line, but they still need defensive line. So, yeah, like I said, loaded with defensive ends in this draft. I have the Lions taking Charles Harris. Moving on. I have the Dolphins taking Gayron. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. Conley. He's a corner. And, yeah, Brent Grimes. Gone. He's long gone at this point. Brandon Cooks is coming to New England. Who's going to cover him? I don't even know any corners on the Dolphins. So, yeah. Gayron Conley. I'm sorry, I'm just awful. Still, I have the Giants taking quarterback, and it's Deshaun Watson. And because Eli Manning regressed so badly in 2016, I think the Giants should be worried, like, Jesus Christ, who's going to replace him? And, yeah, so I have them taking Deshaun Watson, who, yeah, they don't start him day one, but they just slowly kind of put him in, and whenever Eli Manning decides to retire, because the Giants pretty much screwed themselves with Eli's new contract, so can't trade him. So, yeah, I have them taking Deshaun Watson. And I have the Raiders taking Quincy Wilson. It's because the Raiders, Deshaun Smith was a success. They absolutely stole him from the Chiefs. But they still need that guy to cover the number 2 corner. And Sean Smith isn't exactly young. So, I mean, he's not old. But, I mean, like, Quincy Wilson could, after 4 or 5 or whatever years, however long it takes for Sean Smith to finally hang up his cleats, he could become the new number 1 corner, and then he could groom another corner. So, yeah, I haven't taken Quincy Wilson. And I have the Texans taking DeShone Kizer. Wow. Brock Osweiler's gone? I mean, they traded a second-round pick to get rid of him. They clearly didn't want him. And, the Texans are really planning to land Tony Romo, but if that doesn't happen, then they need a cornerback. I mean, is Tom Savage or even Brandon Weeden really going to start all of next season for them? Does Bill O'Brien really expect to keep his job with Tom Savage and Brandon Weeden? I mean, he's an offensive guru, but, I mean, he can't make Tom Savage be a franchise quarterback. I mean, I don't think anybody can. I mean, he can make Tom Savage better than he probably would be on any other team, but he's not their franchise quarterback. All right, moving on. Seahawks. I have them taking Caleb Brantley, defensive tackle. He's the biggest standout defensive tackle in the draft class this year. And, yeah, he could really add that tone that the Seahawks defense is kind of starting to lose. He could kind of revitalize it and make their defense truly kind of that smash mouth, like, don't even try to run it, or don't, like, the Legion of Boom kind of, except the Legion of Boom on their defensive line, ? Oh, yeah. I have the Kansas City Chiefs taking TJ Watt. I don't know. I watched TJ Watt in college, and I'll tell you right now, it's ridiculous that some people don't even have him getting taken in the first round. And they're getting a little bit old, the Chiefs are, at linebacker, outside Justin Houston. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if Tom Bahali or whatever's going on is him, but, yeah, I have the Chiefs taking J.J. Watt's little brother, T.J. Watt. And if J.J. Watt was any sign, the Watts are a dangerous family. I would not want to be the guy that breaks into their house. All right, the Cowboys. I have them taking Adoree Jackson, Morris Claiborne, Brand Carden's gone. They need something at corner. Adoree Jackson fills in that need. Moving on. Packers, I'm taking Cordia Tankersley. And, yeah, I mean, they need a running back, but I mean, they re-signed Kristen Michael, and they have forgetting his name. Gosh, I hate myself. Ty Montgomery, and so yeah, I mean they need a corner though, because I mean, oh yeah, Alshon Jeffrey left, but I mean that doesn't mean you can just slack off at a corner. I mean, literally, was it Ladarius Gunther? I'm pretty sure it was had the worst corner rating. He allowed like 127 passer rating against him, which is just awful. So yeah, the Packers need a corner. I have the Steelers taking Hassan Reddick, and it seems like the Steelers want to get that steel curtain defense back really badly, because this used to be like a defensive team, like smash mouth, like shut down elite offense. But now over the years, they slowly kind of become reliant on Ben Roethlisberger, who's not going to retire. It's pretty obvious. They've become too reliant on their offense, and their defense showed like a lot of promise last year. So I think that Hassan Reddick could really just add that tone to this team and give the Steelers defense a big boost, so maybe they can become more balanced, not so reliant on their offense. I have the Falcons taking Marcus Williams. There's no like superstar standout corners really left at this point, so I'm taking Marcus Williams. And if you watch the second half of the Super Bowl, you know that the Falcons secondary just let Tom Brady pick them apart one by one by one. It just was ugly, and that was before the Patriots even got Brandon Cooks. So, yeah, Marcus Williams. Yeah, they need somebody over the top to defend against the pass. And with the final pick of the first round, Tim Williams. It's not like a huge, like, splashy pick, because, again, why would the Saints trade Brandon Cooks? They're just going to take some splashy offensive guy. And it's pretty obvious going to be someone on defense, but I think it's going to be Tim Williams, because like I told you, this draft is stacked with defensive ends. The Steelers are jumping at joy. The Saints are jumping with joy because they need defense, and this is a very defensive loaded draft. So I have the Saints taking Tim Williams to upgrade their defense. And all right, thank you for watching. If you have any thoughts on this video, or you think that I should change one of my picks for my next mock draft, which I might do in a couple weeks, maybe sooner if something big happens, like Tony Romo. Tony Romo gets signed to a team. Like, it's either going to be Texans or Broncos. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. Have a good day, and peace.